Captain Insano shows no mercy. No mercy. No mercy. No mercy. No mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day for your ass, boy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the All-Day Football Show. I'm Ivan Vargas. That's Luke Nettles, and our boy Marco Velasquez at the bottom. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to football. It is the kickoff of the 2021 season. We got the Bucks, we got the Cowboys, we got a big game. We got a big day on Sunday, and we'll tell you about that in a little bit. But man, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Football is here. What's going on with you?
I'm loving it. I'm so excited. We did the fantasy draft last night. You saw my excitement, man. This is the greatest day of the year, you know, in my eyes.
Luke wouldn't sit down, Marco. Like, Luke wouldn't sit down last night. I'm sitting at the table, and I'm running, and Isaac's sitting next to me. And Luke's just jumping on, like, let's go. Like, I'm going to get my boy. I'm like, damn, dude, like, how many of them are you doing? Like, how many boys you got out there? It's like, no, it was fun, man. It was fun. It was a fun draft. We had a blast. Marco, man, like, you talk about that traffic today, man. Getting here barely, like, you know, getting here right on time, getting here at perfect timing, man.
Oh man, the excitement building up, man. I mean, you know what? You know, it feels like the traffic automatically, you know, builds up your testosterone. You know, just trying to get home and, you know, get ready for this. But it should be. I mean, it's a very exciting season that's about to start. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. It's like you got to go loot us sometime. Move, bitch. We got football to talk about. But let's go ahead. Let's talk about that football stuff, man. Bucks, Cowboys, big game, big storylines on both sides. Obviously, Luke, your Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the defending champions. Great season last year. New season this year, but everybody's back. It's the same team. It's the same damn team. Luke, how do you feel about the Buccaneers going into this season? I know, you know, like I said, all 22 coming back. You're looking for you know, little chinks in the armor, but I don't think they have many. How do you feel about your Bucks going into the season?
I feel good. I feel real good about it. You know, we did pick up a couple extras. You know, we got Giovanni Bernard now. You know, a pass catcher out of the backfield now. We got a three-headed monster back there now. We got Fournette, Jones back there. Secondary, you know, coming off that was their first year now. A lot of these guys, it's their second year. That's my biggest concern with the team. My front seven, I'm still, man, I don't know. I don't know how anybody could have a doubt in that front seven. That front seven is vicious. Todd Bowles is there. Everybody understands both playbooks, defensive and offensive. So to me, I feel like the Bucks could be better this year. But like I said, we've talked off camera, obviously. My only concern really about the Bucks is that secondary. You know, like, can they, you know, this is every team's monster is injuries. Can they stay healthy? And then can they be better or as good? I mean, because as good as last year isn't going to cut it, because teams are coming for you this year. So they're going to have to take that next step. They're going to have to, you know, lock in and you know, I think they were all I think they liked what happened last year, and I think they all were kind of like, yes, this is fun. Let's do this again. So I think they all know, and they all have a taste of what it takes now. And they know they have the camaraderie and all that stuff now. So I feel like this is going to be a good season for them.
I do too. Marco, do you think, you know, looking at last year, the Bucks weren't like world beaters to start. You know, they had losses. It felt like they couldn't solve the Saints. You know what I'm saying? It felt like the Saints were going to be their Achilles heel throughout the season. But they got over that, right? Eating W's. God, I hate that. It's just the most awkward shit. Like I want to cheer for Jameis. I do. I mean, he's look, the crab legs and things, you're a dummy, but you want to kind of root for him. But man, just the eating W's crap. That's it's weird to me, man. That's weird to me. But like I said, look back at the Bucs season last year. Little struggles, and then all of a sudden they just started dominating. And that, like Luke said, they started gelling about that middle of the season. They took off and they didn't never look back. How long do you think it takes? Do you think Tom has enough? I mean, we keep asking that same question. Do you think Tom stays healthy enough this year? Do you think Tom is prepared, and do you think that offensive line can stay healthy enough to protect him?
Honestly, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, like I feel like this season they're gonna get better, and they're just gonna pretty much bank off of the success that they had last year. I mean, they reached the promised land when Tom Brady arrived in Tampa Bay. Going back to their early season struggles or whatnot. I mean, I can recall how much heat Tom Brady got for that Bears game. Which they lost, and the whole fourth down confusion for him. But they, as the season progressed, they started clicking, and eventually that led to a Super Bowl victory for them. But I mean, this year, the whole offseason, Tom Brady just focused on building a relationship with Bruce Arians, building a relationship with that with that offense with his receiving core. Tampa Bay, I mean, they know it. Just like Super Bowl champions of years past, they have a big target on their back now, and I think they definitely are going to step up to the challenge.
Marco, we're kind of losing your audio there for a minute. It sounds like you're like fading away. Try that again, please.
Oh, I was just saying that Tampa Bay's pretty much they're gonna bank off of their success last year. Tom Brady, he's been he's talked about his relationship with Bruce Arians and how he's clicked with him as far as making that team successful once again for as long as he's there. But bringing back the same team, I think they just get better this season. They have a big target on their back. They know that, and I think they're going to bank off of that.
How do you feel they get attacked this game? We got Dallas on the other side, and that defense wasn't great last year. They're trying to toughen it up. I guess you could say they got what's Micah Parsons. They drafted Micah Parsons out of Penn State, looking to build up some more speed. They got two great linebackers already in Jalen Johnson and Van Der Esch. What's up with the Dallas defense? You think they're going to go overcome some demons that they've had from the past years? Because we know that offense could put up points, but can they stop people? You know what I mean? And don't worry, that offense has its issues of its own. But how about the Dallas defense? How do they stop Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Mike Evans, and that three-headed monster in the backfield? Also, don't forget Godwin and Antonio Brown.
Absolutely, I think. They brought in Dan Quinn this year. As far as for new defensive coordinator, that's quite the job that he took. In Dallas, as far as this is a team that was ranked 27, 28, but defense in the league last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was just historically that was a really bad defense. We'll see what kind of changes they make. These players are going to make this year. As far as it starts with the defensive coordinator. What can he apply? As far as to this team that struggled tremendously last season. But it also as far as the defense, that's a lot of work that needs to be fixed right there. But it all comes down to how the Dan Quinn factor, as far as what the changes that he brought to the team.
Yeah, look, looking at how much they've been torched, Dan Quinn is a big factor that's involved. But what about the guys that are already there? You know what I'm saying? Like the Van Der Esch's, like the Jalen Johnsons. Where do you find the leader? Who's the leader on the defense?
It's a tough one, man. Especially when you're talking about a defense that didn't seem like it had a leader. And I'll tell you the other thing that probably the reason why a couple of the guys you mentioned are just injury prone. And that's great that you have a leader maybe in the playroom or whatever when you're watching footage, but when you need that guy out on the field. And Van Der Esch, I love Van Der Esch. It's just the simple fact that he can't stay healthy. And I feel like he is probably, him and Lawrence are probably the two that you need to look to in that Dallas defense. Dan Quinn, like I said, we see this all the time. We saw it last year with the Bears. I mean, look what happened from Fangio's defense to the next guys. I'm sorry, what was his name from the Colts? Pagano. There you go. So I mean, like I said, sometimes these things take time, and they do, and we've seen it, time and time again in defensive schemes. Head coaches, offensive coordinators, like you see that little blip, if you want to call it that. And sometimes maybe by week 8 he has them rocking. Who knows? But like I said, I feel like Dallas's defensive biggest problem is in staying healthy, and I think if they stay healthy, maybe they got a good shot. But I also feel like today what needs to happen on Tampa's side is let's hit Dak and let's hit him quick, because how mentally is he ready to get back in there, and is he going to ginger? Is he going to go down? Is he maybe not going to take that run? Maybe not try to break out, because somebody's coming on him. So it's going to be, there's a lot, I think it's going to be a great matchup just because of that factor, with the defense chasing Dak, and then also the factor of can Tampa Bay secondary stop Dak and CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper.
That's a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about next is, Dak Prescott. Horrific leg injury last year. Horrific. Broken fibia. How does he, and you talk about the mental part of it, going into a game like this, going to get up against the defending champions, and he's been very stoic in his interviews. He hasn't been very, I wouldn't say he's been, crass to the media or anything like that, but he's just been kind of like to the point-ish. You know what I'm saying? He's like, this is what I'm going to do, focused, determined, whatever you want to call it. Whenever he gets hit, do you think he's going to start thinking about it?
That's to be seen, man. I would equivalent it to, a boxer. Like, let's say a great boxer, they suffer their first loss, or a UFC fighter. These guys, like, just these great guys, and then all of a sudden they're like, what? I can lose? You know what I mean? And his is gingerly, but he at the same time, look at the guy playing across from him. Tom Brady, what was it, week 2 a couple years ago, took that shot from the Kansas City Chiefs, and look what Tom Brady was able to go on and do. So, like I said, it all depends on the individual's mentality and how they choose to address it, and how they are able to block it out.
Marco, how does Dak overcome any type of mental adversity tonight? And like I said, they got to. Luke mentioned before, JPP, Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea, who you got Shaq Barrett on the other side.
And the rookie Joe Tryon.
Yeah, you got guys, you got dogs on the other side that are going to come after you. I guess in my eyes, pray for Dak. But how do you see Dak's games going tonight? How do you see Dak? How do you see Dak's performance tonight? And how do you see? All right, we'll do this. How do you see the performance of the Bucs going, and how do you see the performance of Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense going tonight?
Honestly, I feel like Dak Prescott, he's definitely going to be the player to watch tonight. Coming off of that gruesome leg injury last season, and before that, I think it was fans could clearly, they understood that Dak is what really is who created these plays for the Dallas Cowboys offense. Whether he was passing or whether he was running, he was known for his explosive runs. But after that leg injury, what's his mental game going to be? Is he still going to go for that big run? If he has the opportunity to run, is he going to take it? How is he going to react? After a hit, pretty much. It's something that I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on, just because you want to see if anything off of his game has shaved off, or if you see any sort of step backs as far as what he's able to accomplish. But again, going back to before the injury, Dak is really what kept the Cowboys in a game, as far as his production. But after something like that, we'll see how he bounces back and just his performance tonight, as far as what a game to come back to, as far as playing against the defending Super Bowl champions and that monstrous defense that they have. So it's going to be something to watch for sure.
How do you feel about that defense on the other side?
They're gonna bring it. And Luke touched on it earlier. They're gonna want to hit him, and they're gonna want to get to him early. They're gonna want him, to feel, as far as get back to reality. This is what we brought, last season, and this is what we're gonna, continue. JPP, it's one of those, that defense, like, Sue, I mean, we've always known that he's a monster. They're going to bring it all night, and I don't see them slowing down for any particular reason whatsoever.
Yeah, let's talk about Zeke Elliott for a second, because I know he's been one of our guys that we pick on a little bit, Luke and I, for various reasons. But, give him credit. The guy's dropped weight. He's realized he hasn't been on his game. Last year was a bit of a wake-up call for him. I think we lost Luke, but me and Marco, last year was a bit of a wake-up call for him. Losing Dak, the team looking to you to be the leader, but you're not prepared to be the leader because you're a little out of shape and not focused completely on your craft. Give Zeke credit. He's dropped some weight. He's been looking better in camp. He's been talking like you'd want your veteran running back to talk in the locker room, like a leader. For me, Zeke Elliott's going to have a big year. How do you guys feel about Ezekiel Elliott? We'll go with Luke.
Man, I mean, like I said, I think Zeke's year is going to go as Dak goes. If Dak is kind of like, checking down or maybe throwing a few balls short and just like, getting rid of the ball quicker, I feel like Dallas is going to have to go to a stronger run game. But with that being said, on the flip side, if CeeDee Lamb, I mean, let's talk about it. You got CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper out there. And then the sneaky guy on that team is Gallup, and Gallup, we've seen Gallup make huge plays. So if he can get those guys open and get the ball out and get those guys going, I think Zeke has a great opportunity to put up some yards. But I feel like if Dak is under duress and cannot process and get it to the right guy quick enough, I feel like it's going to have to be Zeke. And if Tampa's continue to bring the pass blitz and the run blitz, I don't see Zeke doing too much. But like I said, the key to Dak and the Cowboys, I feel like, is getting the passes down the field to allow Zeke to be able to do his work underneath.
Marco, how do you feel about Zeke?
Honestly, I think it's going to be a run-heavy game today. I think Zeke is definitely going to, they're going to feed him the ball a lot today. He has worked out tremendously in the offseason. I think he's trying to gain back that, that form that made him so explosive.
Right.
But in all honesty, I think they're going to rely on him heavily today as far as, taking a little bit of pressure off of, Dak. But I'm calling a run heavy game today for the Dallas Cowboys. I think Zeke, I predict them eating a little bit.
Well, and last year for Ezekiel Elliott, played 15 games, 244 carries for 979 yards, 6 touchdowns. He failed to reach 1,000 yards rushing. He did the same thing in 2017, but he was also was he suspended or was he hurt? I forget. But he played 5 less games in 2017 than he did in 2020. And in 2017, it's almost mirror image, mirror images of for stats: 242 yards, 983 yards rushing, 7 touchdowns. It's he's going into his 6th season. He's a bigger back. He likes to hit you when he can. He likes to escape. He's got that quick twitch movement. Do you see him losing a step? I mean, does he gain a step back because he loses the weight? Does Zeke gain confidence again because he's been he's found this new focus? Failed to get 1,000 yards. I mean, I'm not going to knock him, but he did play 5 more games than he did in his 2nd year when he failed to get 1,000 yards again. But like I said, those numbers were mirror images. Hopefully, he has realized, hey man, I got to keep my body in shape. I got to keep my mind focused on this game, or else this game might slip away from him. 6th year, we saw Eddie Lacy. You know what I mean? We saw Eddie Lacy be a dominant running back for the Green Bay Packers, and they were looking for him to continue that. Something similar to a Derrick Henry, but Eddie Lacy ate his ass out of the league.
Yeah.
And Zeke, I felt like Zeke was going to party his way out of the league, and a lot of guys do that, man. A lot of guys, you see guys 1 year, they're all world. they get a contract or something, then then they show up fat. They think they could show up whenever they want. They think they're just obligated all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The hard work is done. I could just rest. I feel like Zeke felt that. I felt like he was playing that way ever since. We'll say about that third year. That third year, I could still feel Zeke like not taking it as serious as I think he should have.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, we don't know what he does in the offseason, you know, so we don't really have a lot to talk about, like how he's carrying himself or what he's doing in the offseason. I think when your defense is being beat up, your quarterback goes down that was on track to throw for over 6,000 yards. It's kind of deflating, and I feel like maybe he may have felt some of that deflation, and just kind of like, man, we just, you know, I mean, you don't want to think that people think that way, but you know, we're all human. You know, sometimes you're just like, damn, we just don't have a chance now. Like, why am I here? You know, I mean, I'm paid to be here, but like, I'm the only one here. Like, you know, and I feel like, you know, you can handle that two ways. You could put that on your back and make that, you know, your goal for the season. Like, hey, it's just me now. It's my time to shine. I need to carry this team. Or you can kind of like, you know, maybe go the other way and just kind of be like, man, I'm just going through the motions. But I mean, we'll never know. I mean, Zeke, that's Zeke, and we don't, like I said, we're not with Zeke every day of the year, right. So it's hard to say. But I mean,
I understand your point. All I'm saying is, if you've lost this amount of weight, if you're able to drop this and keep and get back to this shit, because you saw him, Zeke was still wearing the crop tops, but there were no abs.
Right.
There were no abs. There was no abs showing in the crop tops, but he's still rocking the crop tops. Now you see the physique on Zeke. You see, you know, like I said, you hear him speak positively, in a positive, the way you would want a team captain or somebody a leader of your team to speak. And I feel like he's gonna have a big year this year. Watch out for him in Dallas. Another guy I feel like is gonna have a big year. Well, you know, I'll stick with the running backs. A trio of guys that I think are gonna have a pretty solid year is those Tampa Bay Buccaneers running backs: Fournette, Ronald Jones Jr., and Giovanni Bernard. Giovanni Bernard, man, when he came over, Luke, we both looked at we both said it like, dude, that's huge. Like, that's gonna be solid. You have a solid guy. First of all, he can do everything the other two can do. Yeah. Plus, catch better than they can.
Yeah, and plus it gives you you know a back. You know what I mean, like one of them goes down, you just plug the second guy in. So I mean that's what every team. You know, we've seen this over. This is the trend over the NFL. You know, past 5, 6, 7, 8 years is, you know, people want to have that three-headed monster. Look at Indianapolis with Marlon Mack, Jonathan Taylor, and Nyheim Hines. I mean, there's plenty of teams out there that are going for that third, and I think it's a very smart strategy. Just because, you know, injuries are a big thing, and you know when a running back is a crucial position, it takes pressure off your quarterback. So I think these teams now are understanding that the three-headed monster is the way to go. I mean, there's some that are getting by with the two-headed monster. Like let's look at Cleveland. You know, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. I think Kareem Hunt's just as good as Nick Chubb. Minus, I think Nick Chubb can take a little more, like straight up the middle, and take a little more punishment. But I think Kareem Hunt can get you the yards either way. So Tampa. You know, the thing I don't want to see Tampa do is let the other team know, like, okay, Giovanni's in the game now. They're passing. You know what I mean? Like I want if they're going to put him in, I want them to put him in. You know, they're going to have to decoy him a couple times to make him a decoy. They're going to have to switch it up. Like I don't want to see, okay, Giovanni's in, it's going to Giovanni, or it's going to be a pass. Like that's the one thing that's going to be tricky for the offensive coordinator, Byron Leftwich over there, is to use him and make him efficient.
Yeah, and you know, I agree, Barker. Before we go to you, they had struggles with that running game. Mm-hmm. Remember that where they had 5 carries?
Yeah. Was it one game that had like 7 yards?
Yeah, 5 carries for like 5. It was something ridiculous where they got blown out. Where they got flat out blown out. We thought it was going to be a big game. It was a huge stinker on national television. I think it might have been against the Saints. Either way. You know Bruce Arians. We've all seen Bruce Arians. We know how he could forget about the running game. He could just completely flat out ignore the running game. Mm-hmm. How do you keep him in check? How does Byron Leftwich keep a word in his ear about those running backs? Hey, man, how does the running back coach keep a word in? Hey, man, don't forget to run the ball, man. You got 3 guys over here. You're paying them. Use them.
Is that to Marco or is that to me?
Oh, that was to either one, Marco, or you?
Go ahead, Marco.
Be there?
I mean, like, in all honesty, I think Byron Leftwich, I mean, it's all about, letting the running backs know that, hey, it's all about playmaking. Make a play, make a big play. I don't think they have any reason to, lack in it. I mean, like, we touched on there, just the skill that this three-headed monster has, as far as, Tampa Bay, what they bring to the table. Just, keep feeding them the ball. I mean, I think at this point, we can see that, with Tampa Bay, if any one of those guys got injured, you still have 2-star backs, in the backfield. So it's one of those, I don't see any sort of, struggles with them. But yeah, just you let them know that, hey, it's all about the big play, make it happen.
I mean, I agree. I think Byron Leftwich, I think with Giovanni, literally, could maybe even snake a little more time from one of these guys. Just because, like I said, if you're only one-dimensional, the NFL hates one-dimensional. They like guys that can play different facets of the game. And whether you're a runner, if you're a runner, passer, blocker, I mean, there's not a reason you shouldn't be in the game. But with going on what Marco said, you have to prove that that's what you can do. So I mean, really, all three of these guys are out there to kind of prove what they could do. I mean, we know Ronald Jones is pretty much stone hands. He's pretty much not going to catch a pass at all. So he's pretty much going to he's just going to pretty much slam it up in there and hope for a hole and go from there. Fournette, he can do a little bit. He can catch a little bit. He can run. And then you got Giovanni that can run, catch, and block. So I mean, and he's been doing it behind a good back in Joe Mixon up in Cincinnati. So it's going to be interesting to see how this three-headed monster kind of unfolds throughout the season and how it evolves.
Yeah, let's get to our predictions, and then we'll wrap up the show until halftime. I'm looking at this game, and I agree with Marco. I think from the start we're going to get touchy-feely. It's going to be really slow. We're going to get a lot of running. I feel like they're going to use their running backs a lot more. I feel like Dallas's defense is going to show out a bit. They're going to show some fire, show some fight. I don't think Dallas is going to win this game. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in this Thursday night kickoff to the season, are going to get the victory. I mean, give them maybe 7 points. Give them 7 points. Bucks by 7. Maybe we'll call it 28-21.
Go ahead, Marco.
Honestly, game as my my upset special for week 1. I'm actually going to predict the Dallas Cowboys victory. I mean, it's an insane prediction, but I just feel like Dallas has so much to prove as far as they want to show something. What a way for that new look defense to come out and with a victory over the defending Super Bowl champions. So I'm predicting an upset special, and I'm calling a Cowboys victory today. I'm going to say 27-21 Dallas.
I'm gonna go and say both of these teams. It's the first game of the season. I think they both play conservative. I think it's going to come down to a defensive stand or a pick or so, and I think it's going to be tighter. I am going to go Tampa Bay just with the blitz package. We know Todd Bowles throws and maybe has a sketchy quarterback back there, and maybe force him to make some mistakes. So I think the defense is going to stand tall on this one, and I'm going to go Tampa Bay 18-14.
All right. That's nice. That's I mean, I feel like it's going to be a close scoring game. 28 seems a little high to me. I feel like you guys are about right on the money, 27, 24, even, 18, 14. Like that's about where I see this game being. On the flip side, we could be completely wrong, and both defenses could be just like
juggernauts.
Yeah, both defenses could be rusty, and both offenses could just be airing it out. But I don't see it. I see them, starting off slow, running the ball. I do see a Bucs victory, maybe late. But like I said, we'll see when they play the game. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. That does it for the All Day Football Show for right now. We will be on at halftime and the post game to wrap things up for Buccaneers and Cowboys on Thursday Night Football to kick off the season. Man, I'm happy I'm here with you guys. It's gonna be a long season. We talk a lot of football. It's going to be fun. Sunday will be the prediction show. We talk a little bit about that. Sunday is going to be the prediction show. We will be at Output Lounge on Sunday for a remote. We're going to be doing a all-day tailgate and Bears watch party. So SportsZone Chicago, as well as the all-day football podcast, or football show, will be there shooting, talking football, drinking beers, eating wings, having a good time, watching football. Should be a fun time. All right, guys, until halftime of Bucks and Cowboys, I'm Ivan Vargas, Luke Nettles, and Marco Velasquez. We'll see you at the half.
Captain Insano shows no mercy, no mercy, no mercy, no mercy, no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.